does not define me. Its purpose was to refine me. God, he took my broken pieces to transform and renew me. Now I'm beautifully reconstructed. Beautifully reconstructed. I'm beautifully reconstructed. Beautifully reconstructed. I am. Let's talk. Let's heal. Let's live.
Great morning. I am Michelle Patrice Wade of Beautifully Reconstructed. We are the ministry devoted to helping individuals understand that God could use the brokenness of their past to beautifully reconstruct them and launch their lives in their destined place. So today, we have yet another phenomenal guest, and I am excited to introduce her so that we can get our conversation started. So help me welcome Laquita Graves.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing out there?
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Now, could you share with the audience just a little bit about who Laquita Graves is?
Okay, I am Laquita Graves, of course. I am a native of West Memphis, Arkansas. I recently moved here like 2 years ago. I'm the middle child of three. I'm an actress, creative overall, and I love the Lord. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yes. Now, you said that you just moved here 2 years ago.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, tell us about your move. What made you relocate?
Okay, so I was in school after a long time. God had encouraged me to go back to school. And I'm like, Lord, what? So I went back to school and I went for the audio production and film program back in my hometown. And I was just going to just pretty much learn more of the behind the scenes stuff because I'm used to like acting and stuff in front of the camera, but I wanted to know like what the behind the stuff was like. So I did that. And so after I did it, I started to feel that my hometown was like it was time for me to make a shift. It was time for me to make a
Mhm.
move. And so I was praying to God about it and just trying to see, was I really aligned for real or there was just something I
You
wanted to
wanted to
do?
do, yes.
And so yes, I was aligned with him wanting me to do something different outside of what I was so used to. And so but I never thought it would be Alabama. Let's just say that. Like in my head, I wanted to go to like Nashville. I had family out there and I was like, yeah, I can go to Nashville. That's cool. I actually had already started talking to one of my cousins out there, and she was like trying to get me hooked up with some stuff out there. And so I came to a convention the year that I moved here, which was 23. I came to a convention in January. And I was in my hotel room eating me some seafood. Like was finna get ready to take me a nap. And I knew graduation was coming up in May. So I'm like, okay, Lord, kind of like let me know what I need to do because I know what I want to do,
Hmm.
but I wanted to keep myself open to what
He
he really
wanted.
wanted me to do. And so I was laying in the bed and I heard him clearly say, "This is where I need you to be." And at the time I was in Birmingham actually. So I was like, Alabama. I was like, but okay, I didn't argue, go back and
Yes.
forth with him. I was like, okay, Lord, cool. So when I got back home, I was in my apartment. I didn't tell nobody at first. I just kind of sat with it. And then I told my pastors, I told my family. That was probably like around March when started telling people. So I sat on it for a minute. May I graduated. June my apartment lease was up. July I was headed down the road to Birmingham, and the rest is history.
I love the way you said that he encouraged me,
Yeah, he did.
like it was a little push.
Yeah, because he knew I probably wouldn't have did it. Yeah.
Now, when you expressed to your friends and family that you were moving to a place where you didn't have family, What was their response?
For the most part, everybody was excited about it because they was like, "Yeah, get away, like just go." And for me, it wasn't even just about getting away. It was just about that I knew that it was time to do something different. And so
Mhm.
even though I was moving away, I was moving with purpose. Of course, my mom, she was kind of like, "Oh, but she was okay with it. Like everybody was just okay with me doing something, making a decision for myself. It was a God decision, but I had to choose it for myself as well. So it was good from my friends and family.
Absolutely, because we have free will. So
Yeah,
we have a choice whether or not we want to walk in obedience.
right.
And so I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, me
You know,
too.
there have been times that, yeah, I needed a little bit more than encouragement. I needed a push. So just hard headed sometimes.
We do. Yeah.
Well, since you've been here, can you see the plans of God unfolding in your life?
I really can. At 9 years old, God showed me a vision of what He wanted my life to be. And acting was always in it, traveling was always in it. But I didn't know how that was gonna look. I just know He showed me at that young
Mhm.
age. And so um seeing now that it's more than what he even showed me, like the
Yes.
stuff I'm doing now is like I probably never thought that I would have did it. Like I thought I was just gonna be a traveling actress. Like that's what I knew I was gonna do my whole life.
Yes.
But like being able to do that, but also production stuff, meeting other people, stuff like these podcasts, coming out here, meeting people and connecting with people. Some I know, some I don't, and yeah, it's like it's more than what he actually showed me. Like it's more than that. And I made a post on my Instagram the other day. I was like, man, I remember when I was 9 and God showed me my life, but seeing how he's manifesting it now, like
Mhm.
it's a sight to see because it's what he showed me, but it's even more than what I expected it to be. So it's amazing. Yeah.
You know, the scripture that comes to mind is that, you acknowledge him in all your ways and
Mhm.
he will direct your path.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you did because I heard you state that when you got to the end of your schooling,
Mhm.
you were asking, okay, God, what's now?
Yeah.
What's our next?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, that's so important because oftentimes we just want to do what we think is next versus
Right.
going to the Father and asking Him.
Right.
But you doing that, it seems like it's put you in the right position.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. It did. It put me like it just put me in a place I know that if I had of even stalled on
Mhm.
making the move and doing the stuff that I need to do, my life it wouldn't have looked how it looked now. Like I feel
Mhm.
like it probably would have, but how God wanted to navigate me through certain things, it wouldn't have looked like how it looked now
It's not-
had I hesitated or worried about, I grew this is my hometown. This is where I know everybody.
Yes.
If I was so concerned about what my home represented for me just as a person, it would have stalled my destiny
Right.
pretty much. So I'm just glad that I was brave enough to actually hear God and actually move. It's one thing to hear God, but when you actually step out and do it, like I literally came down here with my car and my clothes.
Yes.
So I'm like, Lord, I was established. I had my own apartment. I was straight, making my little money and stuff. And I was good. I was rebuilding my life post a divorce that happened. So I was good, but God wanted me to do something else, and I just trusted him and I did it.
Amen.
Yeah.
I hear you said that you were good, but God wants to do more than good.
Mhm.
And when we allow Him to navigate our lives, then
Yeah.
does exactly that. And what I hear a lot is growth and maturity,
Yeah.
and what you're stating. So let's go back to a time when you needed a little bit more encouragement because you did not follow the voice of God. What did that look like for you?
Um, oh, that's a good one because I think about when I went to school the first time. Of course, I was young. I graduated and then I sat out a year because I was kind of tired of school. So I sat out a year and I worked. But then when I did go to school to get my
Mhm.
associates, I had got it was like I don't know what this is like in especially like in the black community, like they want you like, well, if you're gonna go to school for something, go to school so when you get out you will have a for sure job or a for sure
Mhm.
career. But like I said at the top of our conversation, I always seen myself as this creative person,
Yes.
actress just traveling and doing what I love. And so of course, because I was young and still kind of trying to just really find that footing
Mhm.
on how to get there as I was transitioning to a young adult. I kind of like when I registered for school, um, they had asked us what did we wanted to do, and I was telling a counselor, I never forget it. And I was like, I want to be an actress. I was like, I live in this town, there's not many resources that can kind of push me where I want to go, but I kind of got a vision about where I want to go. And I was like, I really want to do it. And she wasn't encouraging. Like, she was just like,
Wow.
sometimes it takes years for people to get discovered for stuff like that, and then, acting is not a real career. So,
Yes.
that's what was said at that time.
Mhm.
And so I was just kind of like, it kind of put me in a place where I probably need to find something to fall back on just in case. But it was always something in me that knew that regardless, I know this is what I want to do. And so I had some family like they weren't as encouraging in it either. And I get it that they was just genuinely concerned about me going through life and really having something to, really fall
Absolutely.
on. I get it, but I was just like, it really wasn't me for real. So I settled because of that. And I went for, I think I was going for radiology tech. And me as a person, I don't like to see people broken bones. I don't like to see blood. I have a weak stomach. I didn't like seeing that stuff for real, but
Yes.
because I knew like when I got out of college, I'm gonna have something to kind of like fall back on for real. I was going into it. And so I actually got to the point where it was I was actually finna go into doing the actual field of it. Cause you had to take the little basic classes, and then once you do that, you actually go into the classes that lead you to the field. And like right at that moment, I believe that was in 2008. God literally told me, I need you to come out of school. And I was like, bro, I am not finna come out of school. Like, I done got too
Not
far in
bro.
it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done got too far in it. Like, he literally told me to come out of school. And I couldn't, it was like I ran from it so much to where I couldn't run no more. And it was like aside of him telling me to come out of school just because I wasn't really in my vein,
Yes.
he was really perfecting me in who he was calling me to be too. So
Yes.
I took was it 2 years off from college. And in those 2 years, he began to mold me in who he put me on this earth to be as a woman of God and, as this creative I am. So there was a time where I felt like I was kind of like, I needed that. Like he had to almost come down from
Yes.
heaven and push me to do it because I was like, I'm too far in now. But, I did it and it was hard because
Mhm.
I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to come out of school. I didn't want to you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really like I knew God and I was raised up in church all my life, but I was trying to like just develop my life as a young adult. Like I'm like,
Yes.
God, let me like get some footing first. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So when he was dealing with me about who I was and stuff, it was hard because the stuff he was telling me that he was calling me to be, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that.
Most people who are called, they don't want to do
Yeah, I
that.
don't do that. Like what? Prayer, intercession. Like I don't want to be no intercessor. And I was scared of the word prophet. Like I did
Mm.
not want to. That was one of the things. And I'm like, I don't even just really do that now. Like I know that I have that grace on my life, but
Yes.
I don't overly sell myself for it. It's just like when I'm in an atmosphere where that comes and God comes up on me to do that, I will. But
Yes.
it always been there. I've always known it, but I didn't want to do it. It was hard for me to accept it. And I remember at the time I was married at the time and stuff, and God woke me up out of my sleep one night, and He scared me so bad. And He was like, "You either do what I'm calling you to do or die." I didn't know. All I heard was die. So I didn't know if that was
I'll do
physical.
what you call me to do,
Yeah.
Lord.
I
Yes.
didn't know if that was physical or natural. So
Yes.
I ain't want to take the risk. So I was
Yes.
like, "Yeah, I do what you tell me to do, Lord."
Because both were not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to die in disobedience.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was distraught, and I remember I called my pastors, they were out of town,
Hmm.
and I accepted my call to the ministry, and I was like, "Yeah, whatever the Lord want me to do, however gonna look,
Yes.
Imma do it." And so, yeah. So there was a time in my life where I was just like, God, you gonna have to knock me in my head for me to go,
Yes.
but just some stuff I just didn't wanna do it.
I laughed, I want to go back to when I chuckled because I laughed because of when you said, "Bro, I don't want to do," because one of the things, we grew up in such a religious mindset that we forget that our relationship with God is
Yeah.
conversational. It's not always thou art,
Yeah.
and so that's what made me laugh because I actually appreciate the fact that you brought that out the way that you just converse with him.
Yeah.
There's a time when we pray and we pray scriptures, but sometimes we're just talking to our,
Yeah.
our Father.
Absolutely.
And another thing I wanted to go back to is when you were talking about, the naysayers, so to speak, those who were not very encouraging when
Mhm.
you were trying to pursue what you felt that you were led to pursue.
Yeah.
Now, oftentimes with that, people are speaking through their own
Mhm.
insecurities. I heard you say that, in most cases, people were genuinely just concerned.
Yeah.
And sometimes when someone is insecure and they did not have the boldness
Mhm.
to walk in a thing, it's hard for them to understand and they don't want to see you fall.
Right.
But if you are led by the Spirit, then you're not going to fall because he never leaves us or forsakes us. And if he calls us to do something, he's already provided for what he's called us to do.
Right.
And you're definitely living proof of that now, even in your walk where you're here now 2 years in this new city with
Yeah.
no family, just packing up your car with your clothes.
Yeah. 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 It was I'm just glad that I didn't let what people may have thought or whatever stop me.
Yes.
Like, cause it could have easily happened. I mean, we all we all could have the potential to not do something that we know we supposed to be doing. But I'm glad that, I think for me it was more so I heard God for myself.
Yes.
So it don't matter. I get what that you're concerned, but I thank you for it. But I
Yes.
heard God for myself tell me to do this. So it's like in myself, I wouldn't have chose Alabama. Like that's
Yes.
just off GP. I wouldn't have
Yes.
chose
Yes.
Alabama. So I took that risk and I was like, well, God, you know more than what I know. You
Yes.
already know what's there. You already know what's gonna happen once I make this move. So I trusted him and I did it for him, and I also did it for me. Like,
Yes.
I feel like that was one of the best decisions I have made in my adult life, was to come and uproot from everything I've known to a land that I know people, but not like that, to a land where it's like, okay, now I can just really flourish and be open to so much more and just reinvent myself, at this point in my
Mhm.
life, how God want me to look or be. So, yeah. Yeah.
And that's what a relationship does.
Mhm.
Because if you are a person who's not in tune with the voice of God, the voices around you can become louder.
Yeah.
And then there could be confusion. God is not the author of confusion. However, we
Right.
can be confused. Well, God, I thought I heard you say, but you stated that you, and no uncertainty whatsoever, you heard God.
Mhm.
And so those voices were be able to be diminished
Right.
in that
Right.
time.
Right.
So what does acting look like for you?
Okay, acting, it's for me now, I'm more so trying to get into like film and TV. Like for the most of my life, I've done theater or stage.
Sure.
So, now more so with being around my brother and my sister, AJ and Colette, like their knowledge and just even them having actually kids that are in the industry and
Yes.
stuff like that, I just glean from them so much. And I know that I can do it. It's just that I didn't have those opportunities where I
Mhm.
was. And so even with me going back to school and doing the stuff that I did, it's like,
Yes.
I want to broaden myself out. Like that's the thing that I like about being a creative. You don't have to be boxed in. Like you can
Mhm.
go as far and as wide as you want to go in your lane though. Like,
Yes.
in your lane. And so for me, it's more so I just want to be on TV because that's something God showed me when I was 9. So
Yes.
it's like until my life look like what he showed me, Imma keep pursuing and doing what he's put in my path to do until I see it manifest. So, I got a lot of good things coming up. I did some short films since I've been here
Yes.
with something I had never done, and got an opportunity to do another one. So I'm just thankful for the doors that are opening for me with that, and yeah, I'm just excited, just going with the opportunities as they come and also preparing myself. I have an agent now, which I never had before. So I was like, okay, what I'm saying? This is different. But I'm enjoying the ride. Like it's a good ride. And for me, it feels good because me being a 39-year-old woman, I feel like I represent a lot of people that may feel like it's too late for them and it's not,
Mhm.
or may feel like they missed it somewhere because of the path that they had to go. And it's not like for me, I don't regret the path that I had to go. I don't
Mhm.
regret that because I didn't know that this was even not something I wanted to do till I was 9.
Mhm.
Like I didn't know. And so what happened was I was in a church play and I was supposed to be in the play initially, but not in the lead role of the play. So something happened where the lead role, the person that was playing the lead role, like 2 weeks before the play, they couldn't do it. And so somebody referred me to do it, and I was like, 9, like, "Oh, I don't even know what to
Yeah.
do." And so I had 2 weeks to learn a lead role lines, and I got them lines down packed in, like, a couple days. And so when I was rehearsing or my mom was going over it with me, she was surprised at how I was able to regurgitate the lines without the script, and I only had just got it,
Yes.
probably 2 weeks before. And so when I was on stage and doing it, it was like once we did our little bow thing or whatever at the end, I was looking out and I was like, this is something I could see myself
It
doing.
became natural. It was just
Yeah,
natural
it was
for
just a
you.
natural thing for me. And once God showed me that vision at that age too, I was like, oh yeah, this is something that I can do. So acting looks like me just being on the big screens, doing what I love to do, but also inspiring people that feel like they've missed it or it's too late. And it's not
It's
like
not too
it's
late.
not too late.
It's
It's
not.
never too late. As long as you got breath in your body, you
Yes.
can still do whatever it is that God has showed you or even that you just set out to do just in general. So that's what it looked like for me.
The when I think about faith, not sight, that you're exactly walking in it.
Mhm.
Because oftentimes when we look at the process,
Mhm.
because we believe in our own mind, we've mapped out our lives,
Mhm.
and by this time I should have this, by this time I should have done this. And when it does not align to our personal vision, not our God vision, but our personal vision, then we can become frustrated
Yeah.
and we go another direction, not knowing that if we keep going forward, then what God gave us will manifest.
Right.
And we certainly are not too old, just like you stated. As long as we have breath in our bodies, we can do it.
Yeah.
But we have to believe not just in ourselves, but believe the God that we serve.
Right.
If He said it,
He ain't gonna lie.
I never known him to lie.
Right.
Never,
Right.
never saw him disappoint
Right.
or not keep a promise.
Right.
And so when we hold on to that understanding, then we can move forward confidently,
Mhm.
not looking at our circumstances, our situations, what it looks like to other people.
Right.
Because sometimes, we can even get discouraged in that.
Right.
If I tell someone this is what's going to happen and it didn't happen by this time,
Mhm.
then maybe I need to go in a different direction.
Right.
But if I know God said it, I'm gonna keep on
I'm
going.
gonna ride. I'm gonna ride it out.
I'm gonna ride it out.
Yes.
We're not gonna stop.
No. No. No.
Yes.
No.
Now, I heard you say earlier that you went through a divorce.
Yes, I did.
Okay, could you share a little bit about that journey with us?
Okay, so this year actually made 6 years that
Yes.
post divorce. Wow, that when you're going through time and you're just literally like moving on and living
Yes.
life. I was like, wow, 6 years. But yeah, it made 6 years this year. And that experience for me was one that I it was it was hard,
Mhm.
and I talk about it from my experience. I don't necessarily have to talk about the other party because I feel like when you're in it, how you
Absolutely.
experience and what it was for you to help someone else, that what matters the most. And
Absolutely.
so I was married for 13 years. I got married when I was 20. So we pretty much grew up together, and 33 um he asked for a divorce and I was confused. I was like, "What?" You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, "Huh?" And because it was just the nature of things. Like we had just came back prior to from our 13th year um getaway. So we had the time of our life. We got away. We talked about, what we thought that year was gonna look like and make sure we was like on the same page with each other, aligned with what God wanted. So I was just confused about,
Yes.
what you want this divorce for. Like where is this coming from? But um I went through that and it was so hard because the uncertainty, like you waking up every day, because I was still praying to God, even in the separation process, for Him to work it out. And I was like, Lord, I don't have to go through that whole line of I wasn't perfect. I mean, I got married at 20. Like,
Yes.
you're a kid. You're
Yes.
not perfect in at anything when you're a kid.
Yes.
So, but I was like, I knew it wasn't enough.
Or at 51.
Right. It wasn't enough. And I'm like, God, you ordained this or else I wouldn't do it. It
Yes.
was never in my plan to be married at 20.
Yes.
Like you were saying previously, I had like this map of okay, 27, I think I'd be ready for marriage.
Yes.
So everything about it was like God led. And so when it went the way it did, I was so confused. Like I was like, Lord, you're gonna have to help me with it. I was having anxiety attacks and out because it was just the uncertainty of it. And so I remember when it came down to the rubber had met the road and I had to make a decision. And God told me, He was like, you're gonna have to sign off on those papers because his mind is made up. And
Mhm.
because I love you and I love him, I can't go against what he wanna do.
That's
So
right.
as much as I was praying, much as I was crying, I had to let go. And that was the hardest thing for me to just let something that I had built for that long go. You know what I'm saying? So when I did, um, I took what was left. Like to me, like I look at it like it was just like a rubbish of things there. And so I just took what I could save of me. And I
Mhm.
took that and I grew and I learned from what I took from that rubbish that was there. Like a lot of people say, like divorce to me, honestly, and I know it may sound a little controversial. You don't learn something from divorce. You don't learn something from it like divorce. Cause I'm like, I cried a lot. I was mad.
Yeah.
I was pissed off. I wanted to act a fool. I didn't get no lesson out of that. Like, I don't feel like I went through that to get a lesson.
Mhm.
Like, I felt like but I felt like the rubbish that was there, what I picked up and started to rebuild for myself, I felt like that was where my growth and maturity came from that
From that.
that I decided that okay, this happened, but I'm still gonna move forward, girl. We still gonna I'm gonna cry some
It's
days.
still God and I,
Right. I'm gonna
because
cry some
sometimes, because you may cry, but
days.
God is still with us. Even in those times when, we feel like our lives are going in a direction that we didn't intend it,
Right.
God is still with us.
Right.
And so we can still move forward. And that's
Right.
exactly what you did. You picked up those pieces, allowed Him to beautifully reconstruct you, and you are moving forward. Yes.
Thank him for it every day.
And we thank you for joining us today. Let me tell you, I want to hear so much more. So maybe in the future,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you so much for sharing your heart,
Yeah.
and especially that last part, because I know that someone has to be encouraged by that, because
Yeah.
oftentimes we just don't understand.
Right.
But when we don't understand, what can we do? We can take it to the Father and allow Him to navigate our moving forward. And that's
Yes.
what you did. So I
Yes.
applaud you. Do you have anything coming up that you want to tell the audience?
I think, well, I got something that I'm working on,
Hmm.
but y'all just be on the lookout. Like I'm really at this season of my life, I want to encourage women and to let them know, like, from the biggest thing is, don't, even though you go through things, it's important for you not to abandon yourself.
I love
Like,
that.
never abandon yourself,
Never abandon
no
yourself.
matter what you go through it.
That's a perfect nugget to end on.
Yeah, don't abandon yourself. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Mhm.
This was a beautiful conversation,
Yes.
and I'm sure, audience, you enjoyed it. Again, I am Michelle Patrice Wade. I am not, you are not, we are not inadequate. We are beautifully reconstructed. Until next time.
To transform and renew me now.